For thousands of years, the Nuu-chah-nulth people have lived here in some of the most beautiful places on earth. But the world has changed. People have moved away for education, jobs, opportunity. Remote First Nations have fallen behind. Slow, unreliable internet service has hindered them in healthcare, education, business, and government. Without high-speed internet, people are reluctant to come home. Pathways to Technology, managed by All Nations Trust Company, is changing that by connecting every First Nations community in BC to reliable, affordable, high-speed internet. The Nuu-chah-nulth Nations along Highway 4 on Vancouver Island get theirs this year. Macoah, home of the Toquaht, remote yet close, a short commute from Ucluelet. Stunning views from every home along this road, yet few people live here.
Right now there are only 9 homes, 9 houses, and there's about probably 20, maybe 25 or more in the summer when there's work happening.
Most of that work is in tourism. They have a marina and a campsite right on the shore. But business is way down this year because in a world where everyone wants to be connected wherever they go, there's no connection at Secret Beach.
We currently have no internet service here or communications, which would be a great luxury for us.
The number one priority is to bring Toquaht people back to Macoah and preserve the culture.
We would like to see our government house here where people can come and gather. We have just so much going on that would really benefit from having high-speed internet here that would connect us to the world.
To get people home, they've spent millions on infrastructure.
We have electricity, we now have clean water, and internet would be the next big step.
They have online strategies for the resource businesses.
What we're looking at doing is doing a kelp farm. We're going to grow kelp sustainably, and that'll put a small-scale food processing facility in the community, which will be quite valuable. But for us to reach markets, internet is absolutely essential.
We also have a forest company, and we'll be selling our products internationally. And for this, we need high-speed internet.
A House It attracts visitors from all over the world. This Korean group returns year after year, and this week, people from up and down the coast have traveled in canoes for a gathering, feasting, and dancing. A House It has a strong community spirit. The culture is alive and well. They have a good school with promising students, a productive government, a marine economy with growing opportunities. For decades, they've been working for better health care. But if someone needs emergency services, they still have to travel by boat to Tofino and beyond, because their satellite internet service is too slow and unreliable to enable telehealth.
One of the present problems that we have, almost on a weekly basis, is our internet service system going down. There are times we are without our system for a day, 2 days.
Foggy weather, stormy weather, if there's high cloud or thick cloud above us, then there's going to be a delay in transmitting information.
That could put people at risk if a tsunami hits.
Information that there may be a tidal wave on the way, maybe 2 minutes sitting there waiting for it to reboot, or may have been 2 minutes that we could have been further up the road with all our people to higher ground.
Slow internet creates problems in government as well.
Well, it's important to have high speed in the government, in our administration, because it's the way of the world now. That's how we communicate.
It's a given in the city. It's a given like downtown Vancouver. It's a given. I can send you a document and you'll have it almost instantaneously. We can't do that here.
It's frustrating some talented computer software students.
Our children will be writing a line of code, and it may take minutes for it to compile and run. In contrast, students in Vancouver, it may only take seconds. We have good technology in the building. We have a phenomenal building to learn in. What we're lacking is the competitive advantage that that student who is in a larger city has, because their internet connection is almost instantaneous.
Perfect world with high speed would just being able to have an equal playing field with, let's say, businesses, organizations, institutions in Vancouver, Victoria, China, anywhere.
Sky's the limit, I think. We have visitors from all over the world that come to walk on our trails, walk our beaches. We have Lone Cone Resort opened this summer, and just to be able to market online would be an incredible step forward.
10 minutes by boat from Tofino, Opitsat has a 10-generation history.
This is the place of Opitsat, the place where the sun and the moon always shines.
But even when it doesn't and the water gets rough, people still have to travel by boat to get medical treatment. High-speed internet would bring telehealth.
It'll save us from having to travel to access some of these services and to be able to talk to your doctor instead of catching boats through storms. Be able to come here to our own clinic in our own village and access services that other people take for granted. You know, there's professionals that live and work here, home offices at our administrative building that all have constraints with internet. We're upgrading a lot of our technology to go paperless. It's going to change our life to be able to have more services even from our own service delivery agents on the res here.
For generations, Essoasta was dependent on the sea. In recent times, it's had its challenges.
Historically, we were a fishing and logging communities. Of course, with that collapse, we've learned from the boom-bust economies of the past that we need something that's going to be sustainable for generations to come. With our Tribal Parks initiative, building on the conservation economy, providing local jobs for our people, we need to be able to pass down our traditions, our knowledge by any means necessary, and that means technology. I mean, right now we don't even have cell phone coverage. Everybody's very excited about the idea of high-speed internet.
And the need for high speed is increasing rapidly as the population expands into Taihistanis next door.
We are a growing nation here in Toquaht, and the build-out of Taihistanis will be equivalent to the municipality of Tofino. We're in a nation-building exercise where we want to meet the needs of our people.
Up at the end of Kildonan Sound, a couple of hours from Port Alberni, the tiny village of Nuu-chah-nulth is tucked into the evergreen hills at the edge of the water. They've spent millions on infrastructure, hydro, chlorinated water, the access road, but only 3 people, a dog, and some cats live here. Simply put, people don't want to live here because there are no jobs, and that's why the Nuu-chah-nulth Tribal Council in Port Alberni has decided to turn down the offer of high-speed internet.
$830 for a base amount is a considerable amount for internet for a small amount of people that are living there. We're a small treaty First Nation and we have limited funds, and so for us to commit that type of funds to internet, it's just it's a non-starter right now.
Waya Point Resort is nestled into 600 acres of old-growth forest that break onto wild beaches where an ancient Nuu-chah-nulth village once flourished. It's beautiful and brilliant. Luxurious lodges, rustic eco-yurts, family-friendly campsites, right on the edge of the Pacific Ocean. When they built it, they didn't want internet, but for almost all travelers, it's a deal-breaker not to have it, so they relented. Ironically, their internet is by far the biggest source of complaints.
Right from our first year, since we opened up our lodges, and even down at the yurts, we have guests making their way all the way up back to the office, which is about a 3-kilometer drive, to complain about the Wi-Fi. And the funniest comment that they make is that we have third world Wi-Fi conditions here. and they're not exaggerating that much, I guess.
As tourism grows on the West Coast, those internet complaints will get louder and potentially more damaging.
We know we have a really good niche because we can offer some privacy and intimacy that other resorts can't. But when the competition gets high-speed internet and we don't, that could be a real disadvantage. Yeah, the high-speed internet now is so standard that eventually we won't be able to compete with other campsites even that have access. Wi-Fi's everywhere, and eventually we're going to need it here as well.
At Anakla, the Hawaiian government has already embraced high-speed internet. Their 2 offices, 90 kilometers apart, are connected by high speed, enabling instant communication and face-to-face meetings over the internet.
We have a lot of people that live away from home, and being a modern treaty nation, we need to make every attempt to communicate to all of our citizens that live across Vancouver Island, the mainland, and having high-speed internet is key to that communication.
Now they're extending it to the village.
Phase 1 was supplying it to the admin building. Phase 2 is they're supplying us with the technology to get it down to the lower village to supply everybody with high-speed internet. And we're talking extremely high speed. We're talking what you would buy in the city.
Part of our treaty, we really need our people to move home for success of our nation. And it's a beautiful area. We have the West Coast Trail here. We have beautiful waters and access and trails. And really it's about a First Nations community being together.
It's all going to be controlled by the government, so then we can subsidize and give everybody that service at a really good price. Grandpa Wayne, who's our community maintenance supervisor and our school bus operator, really wants a high-speed internet.
Cotton picking rights, man. I need fast-speed internet because I look for parts and that we need for our public works, because sometimes you can find it cheaper on the internet.
And at the Pachina Bay campground, it's the same story as elsewhere. Even immersed in the peace and natural beauty here, campers must have their high-speed internet.